Welcome, gentle listener, I am Baldermort, your faithful servant, and I wish to introduce you to the forces, factions, and outfits of the Warhammer 40k universe, the grim darkness of the far future, where there is no time for peace, there is only time for war. And today, we shall be beginning what I hope to be a run of entries on the Successor chapters of the Space Marines. Now, there is often a lack of artwork and imagery of all forms for some of these chapters, so do bear with me as I place in other art that is close or similar to the subject in question. So do try to restrain yourself from pointing this out to me, as I am well aware. I really do know the urge to pedantry, I really do. But please just enjoy the video or move on. I can't put up what is not there, and I'm never going to be large enough to hire artists. We all know that really. But if you are entertained, then do take control. Put in what you suggest as the next couple of chapters. So, sit back and relax as we hear some of the basics about this, the Space Marine Successor chapter known as the Angels of Vengeance. And so, as usual, for the very basics, let us lean on existing wisdom. To quote, the Angels of Vengeance. The Angels of Vengeance are a loyalist chapter of Space Marines, and a second founding successor chapter of the Dark Angels. It is thus counted amongst the ranks of the Unforgiven chapters. The deeds of the Angels of Vengeance are even less well known than those of the other Unforgiven chapters, for they shun fame and laurels, instead concentrating on their duties to the exclusion of all else. They are a grim and dour organization, with all of their companies wearing power armor of jet black. It is a tribute to the panoply worn by the original Dark Angels Legion, when they first set out from Terra on the Great Crusade, in circa 800 Millennium 30. The chapter is wont to become embroiled in battles that other forces would have little hope of winning, and emerging bloodied but victorious. The Angels of Vengeance have willingly suffered horrific casualties in the name of victory, a result of their absolute refusal to retreat in the face of the foe. The chapter's very future has been put in jeopardy more than once, beginning with its appalling depletion during the Forgotten Wars. More recently, in the aftermath of the siege of San Apolis, its losses were so extreme that the chapter was forced to spend almost a century rebuilding before it could do battle once more. Even for Adeptus Astartes, they are unrelenting in their persecution of the Emperor's foes, reserving a particular loathing for those who serve the Chaos Guards. Chapter History. Though this chapter's deeds are less well known across the Imperium than those of others, since it is single-minded in its duties to the point of excluding all else, its Astartes are no less heroic than those of their fellow Unforgiven chapters. It is said that all of the so-called Unforgiven, the Dark Angels and their successor chapters, are secretive and obsessive to the point that many other Imperial forces shun their presence and eschew their aid. The Angels of Vengeance are known for their unrelenting hatred of any enemies of the Imperium of Man, as they constantly seek out the threats of Xenos, heretics and apostates, so that they may do battle with them. Potential allies are often cowed by these battle brothers' cold-blooded determination and icy single-mindedness. The chapter is so utterly dedicated to its duty that its brethren think or speak of little else. This drive extends beyond a simple devotion to duty into an all-consuming obsession. The Angels of Vengeance hold little or no regard for the strategies of other forces, relentlessly pursuing their own battle plans regardless of the schemes others might have set in motion. On numerous occasions, this behavior has led to a battle being won at the expense of an entire campaign, caring only that their own immediate objectives are obtained, regardless of the wider picture. The chapter's attitude might long ago have led to it being entirely ostracized by any of the Imperium's armies beside which it might take to the field. This is not the case, however, for the chapter's total devotion has on numerous occasions led it to achieve stunning victories and achieving objectives others have written off as unobtainable. The chapter's all-consuming dedication to its mission translates into a total rejection of the notion of failure. It is true that the Space Marines of the Adeptus Astartes know no fear, but the Angels of Vengeance are so relentless and stubborn in their approach to battle that they refuse to even redeploy. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, the Angels of Vengeance fight on, frequently emerging from the fires of battle, having sustained enormous losses, but having earned such victories as lesser warriors could only dream of. Other chapters might regard the Angels of Vengeance as tactically inflexible and stubborn, but none can dispute the roll of battle honors it has earned over the millennia. Notable campaigns: The Forgotten Wars, 580 Millennium 31 to 632 Millennium 32. During an unspoken period of their history, referred to as the Forgotten Wars, rumors led the Dark Angels, along with 3 of their successor chapters, the Angels of Vengeance, the Angels of Redemption, and the Lion's Sable, to embark upon a harrowing campaign to track down multiple fallen. The clues led them through Segmentum Obscurus, deep into the Gothic sector, and eventually into the Eye of Terror itself. In hindsight, it is easy to see that the ruinous powers baited the Dark Angels. Only the Dark Angels' irrepressible resolve allowed them to escape, and they paid a high price in casualties. The Lion's Sable were completely annihilated. To cover their immediate losses after their warriors were thought lost to the warp, the resources of the recruiting world of the Lion's Sable, the Ebon Orb of Nachwald, were usurped to replenish the Angels of Vengeance and the Angels of Retribution. The Dark Angels staged a false plasma explosion aboard the Rock to explain their loss of records, for it was decided by the Inner Circle to destroy all records related to the event. Of the Forgotten Wars, the Dark Angels do not speak, nor has it entered into the apocryphal tales told to their initiates. They have gone to great lengths to ensure all references to that campaign, or to the Lion's Sable, have been stricken from the records available to the Adeptus Terra. Deep in the dungeons of the Rock are secreted the only remaining accounts, and only those of the Inner Circle ever learn of that heroic sacrifice that must forever go untold. The Siege of Dominus Prime. The Dark Angels and Angels of Vengeance both deployed their entire first companies to end the 5-year deadlock with the rebel tyrant of Dominus Prime. Official reports detailed that nigh on 200 Terminators cracked open the unassailable fortress and massacred every last traitor within. In truth, the Unforgiven's numbers were substantially higher, and several prisoners were taken back to the Rock for questioning. The Red Heresy, year 290 to 310, Millennium 36. During the Age of Apostasy, the Red Heresy plague erupts across the Donloth sector, a foreshadowing of the later battles that would become known as the Plague of Unbelief. It is here that the cult of the old gods rises. Agitators and anarchists stir up the hives into open rebellion. Workers in their untold billions are urged by red-robed priests to cast off their shackles, to reject the corpse god emperor. The horrific slaughter of all agents of the Adeptus Administratum and Adeptus Ministorum is enough to draw in vast fleets of Imperial armed forces. Seeking a quick way to end the rebellion, the Silver Skulls chapter deploys an en masse in a desperate attempt to kill the leaders behind the rising cult. The hunt is disastrous, with drop pod assaults ambushed and multiple Thunderhawks brought down en route to their objectives. Only the arrival of Dark Angel Deathwing and Ravenwing forces, along with the 3rd Company of the Angels of Vengeance, staves off certain defeat. However, the Silver Skulls observe the Deathwing forsaking the battle in pursuit of a mysterious robed space marine, who turns out to be the notorious fallen known as Cypher. Before Cypher escapes, an Angels of Vengeance librarian detects several fallen ensconced within the red-robed hierarchy of the Red Heresy. The Silver Skulls are left to dig themselves out of their own predicament. They do so, but openly condemn the Dark Angels. Another formal protest is filed with the High Lords of Terror. Grimm's Landing. The Dark Angels recruiting world of Grimm's Landing fell into civil war after the Alpha Legion and Night Lords incite rebellion there. The Angels of Vengeance responded, fighting through wave after wave of renegades, cultists and madmen. Finally, despite massive casualties, they exterminated every living thing on the surface of Grimm's Landing. Massacre at Darkmoor, Millennium 42. Elements of half a dozen Unforgiven chapters descend upon the shrine world of Darkmoor, including multiple companies from the Angels of Vengeance, the Consecrators, and the Guardians of the Covenant. All had followed their librarian scribes to the planet, searching for the newly materialized fallen, Cypher. It was not long before they discovered that they were not the hunters, however, but the hunted. The warp storms had subsided to allow their armies into Darkmoor's orbit, returned in force. On the planet's surface, the Unforgiven found the world's vast cathedrals in ruins and its population slaughtered. Awaiting an ambush were armies of demons, Chaos Space Marines, and renegades. What followed was the worst single incident of losses suffered by the Unforgiven since the Forgotten Wars. Less than 100 Space Marines from an original contingent of 1,000 managed to escape, and they did so only because they pursued Cypher, who, in his attempt to flee, led them to a secret teleportation device. Chapter Organization. Most of the Unforgiven chapters follow the Dark Angels' pattern of organization and are therefore considered partially compliant with the Codex Astartes. This includes possessing elite formations similar to the Deathwing and the Ravenwing, although they are not named as such. For instance, the Angels of Vengeance use a Terminator armored company known as the Dreadwing, with a mobile Raptor Wing to carry out the hunt for the fallen. Though they have performed admirably, they have not garnered the recognition of their Dark Angel counterparts. Like the Dark Angels, the Unforgiven Successor chapters also have a clandestine group known as the Inner Circle, who possess knowledge of the Fallen and the true events that occurred on Caliban. With the influx of newly acquired Chimera Space Marines into their ranks, the Successor chapters of the Unforgiven have taken great advantage of the innate abilities, superior skills, and equipment utilized by their Primaris brethren, and have incorporated them into the ranks of their chapter's battle and reserve companies. As suits their aggressive style, the Angels of Vengeance have reported great success in fielding Inceptor squads alongside their assault squads, creating a 1-2 punch that can quickly collapse an enemy flank. Recruiting worlds. Although there are many Unforgiven recruiting worlds, the full number of which is known only to the Supreme Grand Master of the Dark Angels, the majority of them are feudal worlds, much like Caliban was. Over time, some recruiting worlds have been lost, either permanently, such as Grimport, or for a short period, like the Plains world, but new sites are constantly added. Upon some of these recruitment worlds, the Dark Angels have built fortress monasteries, large, well-defended complexes where hopeful initiates can compete for the honor of being selected. Other planets have smaller outposts, ranging from a fortress of redemption to a mere statue in front of which ceremonies might take place. The most feral of these planets have nothing but legends of visitors from the sky, appearing at regular intervals. At need, some established recruitment worlds have been given to successor chapters, or vice versa, and much work is done to ensure that any records held by the Adeptus Administratum are soon lost. For instance, Nakvald was originally the main homeworld of the Lion's Sable, but after their destruction, it passed into the control of the Angels of Vengeance, and has since been used primarily by the Angels of Absolution. Chapter Relics. Anmael's Reach. During the Jericho Reach's Age of Shadow, many great heroes served the Death Watch and performed deeds that would have been the basis of legend, had there been any to witness their vigil. One such warrior was Anmael, a battle brother seconded from the Angels of Vengeance. The stubborn drive of his chapter led him across the Reach in pursuit of countless inhuman foes. Of his last mission, only the Watch Commander and the Chamber of Vigilance knows the details, but he was survived by the ornately worked storm bolter he bore from his chapter's vaults. It is said that the Anmael's reach will suffer no wielder less determined than its first, but its fierce machine spirit bolsters the worthy. Chapter Colors. The Angels of Vengeance primarily wear black powered armor, which is reminiscent of the original colors worn by their progenitors, the Dark Angels Legion, during the Great Crusade and the subsequent Horus Heresy. The Aquila, or Imperialis, on the chest guard is bone. A white squad tactical speciality symbol, battle line, close support, fire support, or veteran, is placed on the right shoulder pauldron. The dark red, low Gotha numeral centered on the squad speciality symbol indicates squad number. Like their progenitors, the Angels of Vengeance utilize the same heraldry unique to the chapters of the Unforgiven that indicates company designation, which is painted on the right knee guard. The Angels of Vengeance chapter badge is a stylized white skull, wearing a red hood, and surrounded by a pair of stylized angelic wings, centered on a field of black. End quote. Now for next week's entry, please comment on the video to show your wishes. The chapter suggestion that comes up the most will get a basic video, as this one was. Obviously, we are looking for more obscure chapters, as the largest ones have the most lore, and will gain full extended entries in due course. So, go to the comments section and put in your choice. I have been Baldermort, your faithful servant. I hope you have enjoyed this brief introduction. If so, then please consider liking and subscribing. If you do, then hit the notifications button, as I would not want you to miss out. If you see the worth in what we are doing, then do also consider joining our Patreon, or giving the video a share if that is beyond your present scope. It would be a great boon. Now, no matter what you do today, do try to make some time for fun. Toodaloo.